This episode of Eclectic Collectin Arsenal was inspired by Demolition Ranch. How's everybody doing out there on the internet? This is your friend Big Frank at Eclectic Collectin Arsenal, and I'm just pulling up to the range today. Need a little bit of relaxation. It was a rough weekend at the restaurants. Okay, there we go. Oh, so with it being my day off, one of my 2 days off, I always hit the range on one of those 2 days. Always do. Now, I was significantly low on ammunition today, so what I decided to do was I decided to go to my usual shop, Collector's Firearms. This isn't a paid advertisement. And I just wanted to stock up on some ammunition. And while I was there, for some reason, I thought of Matt at Demolition Ranch with his pawn shop challenge. And being that I don't like to frequent pawn shops, because the last time I was in there is when I thought of this challenge, and I thought of it again today. The last couple pawn shops I went to for the pawn shop gun challenge, the cheapest guns they had there were $300, $400, and $500. No, when you go to when you do the pawn shop challenge, you find the cheapest gun there and you see what you get for the cheap gun price. So what I did was I went to Collectors, and as I was shopping for the ammunition, I asked them what the cheapest gun they had was, and they pulled out this Smith & Wesson 380, and overall it didn't look too bad for $194, but the problem was the rifling in the barrel was shot. Not in the good way, in the bad way. Whoever owned that gun previously, it was their practice gun, and they completely destroyed the barrel. So I wasn't interested in that, and I was like, what was the next cheapest gun? And then they said for $5 more, you can get what this little thing is. So let's go take a look at what I got for literally just under $200. The laugh factor alone on the tag is really cool. Now we got to film this one a little bit different. I didn't plan on buying a new gun. I didn't plan that we would be filming an impromptu episode of the Arsenal, so I don't have any of my filming equipment with me. So yeah, that's not good. But here's the little gun that we got. It's a Ruger LCP Series 1. A good little pocket gun. $199 is what I paid for this one. And you know what? I really got taken by the tag, because the guys at Collectors have some of the best sense of humor I have ever seen. So as you can see, this isn't like just me saying that it was a cheap gun challenge. We have it right there. $199 right there, 99 cents. But what really gets me is what they wrote on the bottom. Pocket pistol, better than a rock, excellent condition. Those guys just have a wicked sense of humor about them. Yeah, they do. Okay, so we know this one is a Series 1 Ruger for a couple of reasons. Number one, the sights are as basic as can be. Absolutely basic. And another thing, with an empty magazine, as you can see, the magazine slide doesn't lock back. That's the clue that it's a Series 1 right there. It has what's called a manual slide lock, just like that right there. The new ones, the Series 2, they have the traditional locking mechanism with their slide, where when the barrel is completely empty, when the gun is empty, it'll automatically lock sliding back. This one being a Series 1, it has a manual one there. It's a 6-round magazine right there, chambered in .380, which is a pretty good self-defense round. A little bit smaller than 9mm, but overall it's a good caliber for what is called your backup or your boot gun. They're called boot guns because when you got your main gun on your hip, the next best place for you to put a pocket pistol or a boot gun is either in your pocket, in a pocket holster, or in a boot holster on your leg. So there are two places that you can put them right there. This, however, is 380. Very small round, a little bit smaller than a 9mm. Let's get the 45s out so you can see the difference. That's a 45 ACP right there. And this is the 380. As you can see, significantly smaller. Little baby brother round. But when it comes to self-defense, I will never forget, one of my old managers used to say this: it doesn't matter what you shoot, it's how you shoot it. Now, a 380 is going to be a really good gun as far as a backup goes. You know, you can use them as a main if you so wish. A gun this size is great for you ladies out there that are watching. A 380 is great. It can fit in just about almost any purse or any small compartment for you. Yep. And it's a good round. But as far as this gun goes, being a Series 1, the Series 2 is out. They have improved sights, improved trigger. They have that lock on the slide. So we're going to see what this one can do. Now, being that I don't have any of my rigs, we're going to have to figure out a way to do this. So let's load it up and let's take a look. Okay, so we're going to go with a basic defensive distance, close quarters combat. This is a 5-foot test right here. So let's see how this little guy does at 5 feet. First time I'm shooting it. Let's take a look. Woo! 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 But as you can see, hey, that's pretty good at 5 foot. We've got one that was, what? One that was meh, and then we got 1, 2, 3, 4 that were dead center. That's really good right there. I'm impressed with this little thing right here at 5 feet. Let's back it up to 10 feet and let's take a look at this little guy. We're actually gonna go for the lower right hand target right above the shoulder. Let's see if we can get some muzzle flash too. Forgot to chamber around. That wasn't very good. But here's the third round. As you can see, I'm still getting used to this one's firing capabilities. We got one that went right up in the perfect spot, another one a little bit to the southeast a little bit, but we got one way north and a couple way to the east. So I really have to readjust myself with these sights, and I have to get a better grip on this one. But overall, as far as a defensive backup pistol, this thing is doing really good so far. So let's go back to 15 feet and we'll see what this one can do. Okay, so we got it back at 15 feet. And to be perfectly honest, I think we're approaching the limit of what I would be comfortable doing as far as my backup gun goes, which is what this is at the moment, provided it actually does good here. I don't know. Let's take a look. We're going to do the headshots now. Chamber is empty. Gun is safe. Not bad. Not bad at all. Here we have, at 15 feet, this guy's actually doing really good. We got one right there underneath the nose, one right in the teeth. That's 2 shots right there. One right through the hole, and then the other one followed right through. Got one immediately to the left of the eye, and one right in the frontal lobe. You know what? This little guy's doing pretty good. Let's try him at 20 feet. What I was figuring on is that at 20 feet, that would likely be too much for it. But I was wrong. Way wrong. But that is the length of the barrel right there. That's where it is at the beginning, and that's where it ends. So this is roughly, I'd say, about a 3-inch barrel at the most, and we're getting pretty accurate with this thing. No, Ruger did a really good job with this thing. I'm impressed with this little guy. I really am. I think I made a good buy. For a couple $100, cheap gun challenge, and I got something that can defend me at almost a standard distance of 21 feet. That's pretty good. I mean, just look at all of this right here. I still need to get used to this gun and its style, but I may not even need to carry the 45. But I probably still will. Okay, so what's our final verdict going to be on the Ruger LCP Series 1? Well, like I said, this was a cheap gun challenge. And I honestly didn't think that, I would get much for it. I figured it probably would have been probably would not be very accurate, couldn't hit the broadside of a barn, something like that. But I'm genuinely impressed with this little thing. And I finally found my boot gun. So, surprise, surprise on this little one. By the way, everybody, magazine is empty. And so is the chamber. We exercise complete firearm safety here. Now, the only detriment that I would really have for this is it just annoys me that I can't get my pinky across right there, but there are magazine extenders everywhere. I know there's a magazine extender right there. I could probably get a couple more rounds for this one and finally have my pinky on there. It'll probably improve my accuracy. But as far as that goes, the trigger definitely needs to be replaced. It's got too far of a pull on it, and the trigger pull's just a little too heavy for me. So I probably would have been better off going with the Series 2, but for $200, I'm not that worried about it. So a couple of modifications here and there, and this will be a really good gun. This is a welcome addition to the arsenal. And with the right pocket holster or boot holster, that is my new backup gun. So let's give it its final ratings. At Eclectic Collectin Arsenal, we grade on accuracy, reliability, and fun. Okay, the reliability on this one is really good. We're going to give it a 4 out of 5 stars. Didn't fail once. The only complaint I have with it is that when the magazine is fully loaded, it sort of juts out a little bit like that. You kind of have to slap it in to get it ready to go. So any thoughts I have of doing 6+1 on this, probably not a good idea. So could have done a little bit more work on that just to make sure that when you slap it home, it's good. All right, now what about accuracy? Now, you guys saw what this particular firearm did at 5, 10, 15, and 20 feet. Standard training distance for me, for my 45 ACP, is 21 feet. And I got one shot that was dead center, 2 that were in the center ring, 2 of them that went into the outer ring, and 1 that just went outside the outer ring at 20 feet. And that is simply because it's a new gun and I haven't gotten used to it yet. So the accuracy, we're going to give it 4 out of 5 stars. And what about fun? Fun? Is this little thing fun to shoot? Yeah, it is. It is. .380 caliber ammunition is a little bit cheaper than 9mm ammunition. And yeah, it's a fun little gun to shoot. It really is. I got about another, I'd say 20 rounds of ammunition left, so let's try and film some slow motion stuff to finish this video, and we'll call it a day with this one, because I got some rifles I need to shoot. But what's the grading for fun? We're going to give it a 4 out of 5 stars as well. So really good. 12 out of 15 stars total, 4 out of 5 if you want to break it down even farther. Good gun. And even though it's a first generation LCP from Ruger, they did a really good job in the initial design. You know what? I bet the Series 2 is a lot better as well. But for now, the $200 LCP that I got right here, money well spent. Money well spent. Just remember, if you're going to do the cheap gun challenge, you really have to be careful with what you may be getting, because you don't know whether it's safe to fire or not. So if you are going to be doing the cheap gun challenge or the pawn shop gun challenge, be very careful, because sometimes you just may need to spend the extra $5 to make sure you get something just fine. But I'm impressed with this little one. Good job, Ruger. Thanks a lot to Collector's Firearms, and a special thank you to Matt over at Demolition Ranch. Keep doing what you're doing, and you know what? If this video can find it to you somehow, please, I live in Houston. I live in Sugar Land, Texas, right outside of Houston. I'll make the drive out there to the compound, and we can have ourselves a good old time. Besides, I need to baptize my Jeep. I've had it for over a year, and it still has not gone through mud. It's gone through water. It hasn't gone through mud. So it needs its baptism. Give me a holler, Matt. We'll have some fun. And that's going to do it for this edition of Eclectic Collecting Arsenal. This is your boy Big Frank at Eclectic Collecting, reminding all of you, keep your powder dry, muzzle down range, above all else, be safe. Happy trails, everybody.